Well, here we are, just stood by the Cheltenham paddock at 3 p.m. on Monday afternoon, Simon. As we stand, the going description, does it remain heavy, soft in places?
Yeah, it has. There was a temptation when I walked round again at lunchtime to reverse that to soft, heavy in places because we'd had a bit of a drier spell. The forecast was still suggesting there might be some further rain to come, which is what's now happened this afternoon. So I have left it heavy, soft in places, but it's pretty borderline actually in terms of which way you call it. So we'll see what happens overnight. The forecast is for a dry night tonight. The rain should be clear of us by about 5 o'clock, and we're looking forward to a dry day tomorrow with temperatures up to 11 or 12 degrees.
How much rain then would you expect, Simon, between now and Supreme Novices hurdle time?
Less than a millimetre or so. That's all that's left in the forecast. So we would hope that this clears in the next hour or two, and it's dry from then until 1:30 tomorrow.
And so that being the case, is it possible you could flip round back again to soft, heavy in places before racing?
We could do, as I say, the call to give it as heavy, soft in places this morning was a borderline one, but with rain falling it seemed the prudent thing to do. Then it seemed to ease off, and there was a temptation just to flip it back again, but I think we've done the right thing. We've got the opportunity tomorrow morning, if we think it's dried out overnight or even up until 1:30, to flip it back to soft with heavy places.
And Simon, that means presumably you can rule out any prospect of any sort of precautionary inspection in the morning?
There's nothing in the forecast that would make us think that there's any concern or any doubt about the meeting tomorrow, so that just doesn't enter into our thinking.
Fantastic. And so when you look around the course, where would be the heaviest parts of the racecourse? What would be like to be the most gruelling parts of the track?
I'm not sure I would describe them as gruelling, but obviously where the old and new courses intersect, and we would have run through those in December and January on soft and heavy ground. There hasn't, as there was last year, been a lot of recovery on that ground, so those intersections in front of the grandstands at the top of the back straight, and when they turn into the home straight at the bottom of the hill. That aside, the heaviest of the ground would be behind the 2-mile start, so for the races over 2.5 miles, coming around what we describe as stud bend.
Around the sort of from the chute back onto the main course proper?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And as the week goes on, Simon, what are we now expecting in terms of rain?
As I say, dry overnight tonight, Tuesday into Wednesday. Dry overnight Monday into Tuesday. Yes. A dry day through Tuesday. No further rain through Tuesday night into Wednesday, but we do anticipate rain, and we may get up to another 8 or 9 millimetres, approximating to half an inch, as we go from Wednesday into Thursday. But of course we're changing tracks then. We open up the new course for Thursday. We've got a very, very wide area of fresh hurdle ground. It's about 10 yards wide, and we have fresh chase ground set up for both the Thursday and the Friday.
If you were racing on the new course tomorrow, would the ground be pretty much identical to the old course?
Yeah, they walk very, very, very similar. As I say, there is a bit more fresh ground on the new course for Thursday and Friday, so we expect that course to hold up better to the wear that it's going to get on the Thursday, and then we go into Friday onto new chase ground, and we can push them wide on Friday on the hurdle track if needs be.
And Sam, just 2 more questions. For yourself and the team, how difficult a preparation has this been? I mean, is it just a case of letting nature do its course? Is it actually easier than having to debate about whether to water or not?
It's certainly been a challenging preparation. The team across the whole site have done a wonderful job, not only through the effects of the snow that we had the weekend before last, that got into the temporary structures, it got into stables, it caused all those snow drifts around the fences and hurdles. So they've done a wonderful job. There are some benefits of not needing to take decisions about watering. But actually everyone is so proud of the place, they want it to look great tomorrow. When you have a lot of rainfall like this, it does hold up that work in places. We've asked everybody, and the contractors and the media have just been brilliant over the last day or two, keeping off the track where it is not necessary to get on it. But look, I have been saying for many years now, I've done 19 festivals. We've been incredibly lucky with the weather in terms of the build-up and through the week in not having a wet one. If one has a hunch about what might be something that challenges us this year, I thought it could be the weather. The head groundsman Ben Hasty thought it might be the snow, and he was nearly right the weekend before last, and I thought it might be the wet. This is the first time we've had heavy in the ground description for day one of the festival for 36 years. We're going back to 1982.
Which is completely remarkable.
It is, although I've always maintained the view, particularly when we hear that we might not see soft and heavy at the festival again because of the drainage in the course. I've always held the view that if you get sufficient rain in close proximity to racing, you will get soft and heavy ground again. And that's what's happened in the preparation to this meeting. We've had about 45 millimetres, that's over 2 inches of rain in the last 10 days. And of course that was on ground that had been frozen in places the week before. And when you get the frost in the ground, it tends to open it up, and a less amount of rain will make the ground more testing.
And Simon, one last question. Heavy, it's a word. Soft, it's a word. And you say it probably gruelling is the wrong word. But for the racing tomorrow, and as we go through the week, how hard work do you think the ground is going to be for the horses competing?
Well, look, we've seen it through December and January, and in fact we had a testing day on November Saturday too, and the jockeys are brilliant at riding according to the conditions, and we still had some wonderful finishes in both December and January, and I'm sure it'll be the same throughout the week.
Simon, best of luck for a great 4 days.
Thank you.